Hello to the fourth episode of the Gabriel podcast. I'm Gabriel, your host today, and today we have a special guest, and her name on Twitch and many of our other websites is JayV. JayV, how are you today?
I'm Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I'm really excited to share the journey that I've been on. It's been quite fun and of course hard at the same time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this podcast. And again, thank you for having me on.
Well, I'm happy to know that. Just a quick thing on JV here. As opposed to all the previous three episodes that I've had here, where all of them have been my friends that from some sort of like high school background. JV here actually is a we actually don't have any kind of history like that. The way that I actually got to find her was actually on TikTok, and one day I was just I wanted to interact with small streamers, just because I saw them as like people. I found them as cool people that you know that were just starting up, and like they all had their different stories, and I just really wanted to kind of get myself into that like fray and just like really kind of just listen to the story, like find out and really appreciate like all their effort that they put into their streams. And so when I typed that into TikTok, one of her videos popped up there, and I saw all the encouragement, the kind encouragement she gave to other small streamers out there, and so I sent her a message seeing if she'd like to come on here and tell us her story, and she has kindly have done that for us. So I'm really excited for today.
Yes, I'm super excited that you reached out to me because I do like doing podcasts.
Very much so. So yeah, today let's see. Today's Wednesday. I learned that, well, I'm on the Pacific time and you're in
CST.
CST. Okay.
Yep.
And so how's your Wednesday been today?
It's been good. It's been pretty busy. I'm babysitting my little sister right now. So we're just hanging out together. I helped her a little bit on her homework and then got a little bit of my homework done. And then here we are. And then later I've got class and then I'm gonna be streaming later. So these are usually how my days go.
Okay. That's cool. That seems
Yeah.
like an action-packed day that you have there.
Yeah, it's very busy for me on the weekdays. Usually, I look forward to weekends because they're my chill time, but I also love streaming, so I always look forward to when I'm able to stream too.
Cool. All right, so I guess we can hop into, let's see, maybe, I guess, maybe like the origins of your stream. Kind of, yeah, like how did that kind of start your streaming career there?
Okay, so that is a really good question. Going back to, let's see here. So 20, like going back to 2020. So I first started streaming about a year now. Well, a year and 1 month, I guess, because I started January of 2020. So that's before things got really bad with COVID. But prior to that, I've always wanted to stream. But I was like, okay, right now I don't really have any equipment. I don't have a PC or anything like that. All I had was a MacBook laptop and my Nintendo Switch. And I'm like, okay, what can I do? And I had my like Surface Pro tablet. Okay, I was like, okay, I can't really afford it right now to get a PC as much as I would love to. I had a friend that kept asking me like, because he makes PCs, so he helped build mine. He's like, every single year, because I've been friends with him for so long, he's like, "Can I build you one? Can I build you one?" I'm like, I just don't have the money right now. Like, so it like going back even further, how I started is I watched PewDiePie. I'm not sure if you're familiar with
Mm-hmm.
PewDiePie. He's a very big, yeah, big YouTuber. And I was like, oh wow, like you could actually like, part of it is like make an income or do it like full time or do it as something as you love. And who knows, it might turn into something bigger. So I was like, oh my God, I want to try this. So fast forwarding to January, I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be my year. I'm gonna try this out and see how I like it. So I started streaming on my Nintendo Switch with my MacBook, which was kind of crazy because you're on a MacBook, you're like, okay, how does this work, right? So I had to, I did have to invest a little bit. So I bought myself a capture card, um, and it actually worked out like pretty well. I was unfortunately not able to like stream games like League or something like that, of course, because League is like really heavy. You can't play and stream that at the same time. So I was like, okay, well, I should be able to, play some Switch games. So that worked out for a while. And I was like, actually, this would be a really good tip to give people is when you first start streaming, you don't have to buy the most expensive equipment. Like, just get something simple. Like, even if you want to stream on console, because a lot of people are console players. So you can download the Twitch app and you can like stream from there. You don't need to get expensive equipment. Like, so that's how I first started. And plus, you don't really know if streaming is going to be for you because it literally is like a roller coaster. You have to see if you can handle it because, you gotta try it out and see if you like it. That way, you're not spending loads and loads of money, and then later you find out, oh my god, this wasn't for me, and crap, I spent like $2,000 on a PC setup. So luckily, I started out cheap and like tried it out. I'm like, you know what? I really enjoy this. Like, this is actually something I really, really like, and that I could do this like probably long term. And, so yeah, so I started in January and then had my MacBook for a few months, and then I started heavily investing probably within the third or fourth month of my streaming career. And then that's when I got the PC tower and I started buying more and more expensive equipment. And then fast forward to a year later, like I have everything that I've been wanting, like my monitors, and I've got a PC tower. So yeah, we've really come a long ways with definitely upgrading our equipment. But I would definitely take it easy first and then go through there. But yeah, so that's how I first started streaming, and I've really, really enjoyed it. I can't believe that I've been doing this for a year now. I never thought when I first started streaming that I would still be streaming from when I first started in January, but I've really, really enjoyed it a lot.
That's really good. That's really great. Um, my question is, when you mentioned that when you first started January, uh, you know, you mentioned like how you really kind of like you enjoyed it and you like saw yourself kind of maybe possibly doing this like long term.
Yeah.
Uh, like how was that process? Was it what parts of streaming did you enjoy during those early days? Because not many people get a lot of viewers in the beginning, right?
Yes. That is a good question. So,
Mm-hmm.
actually when I first started streaming, yeah, I was streaming to nobody. So,
Mm-hmm.
the only person I had watching me was my boyfriend. So, he was like, "I think you should do it. You've always liked playing video games. I've been playing video games for a very, very long time. In elementary school, I used to play the old school GameCube, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, uh, the old Xbox, things like that. So I was like, man, like I really want to do something with that. So yeah, like you mentioned, when you start streaming, yeah, you're gonna not have anybody watching. And that could really, really be discouraging for people. But you have to pretend like there are people there watching you, and you have to act like there are people watching you. There's been a lot of people that ask me, how do you stream to nobody? Like, and I'm like, I've been there, done that. You just have to pretend like there are people there. You have to keep going, even when it gets really, really hard and you feel like you're not gonna get anywhere. Like you'll get somewhere as long as you're being consistent and you believe in yourself and you put in the hard work. Like I believe that anybody can succeed in what they do and what they love. Like whether it's streaming or like a career or job or another hobby that you do. So somehow, yeah, I felt discouraged for a little bit, and I was like, dang, like this is like mentally kind of draining when you're looking at not getting any kind of viewership. So I just kept going. I kept going, and I turned off viewer count because it's so important to not look at numbers all the time. But of course, it is good to see kind of where you are with your progress. But also at the same time, like when you're first starting out, I feel like it's so important to just turn the viewer count off. Don't worry about the numbers. And I always tell people, enjoy what you do and love the games you play because that is so, so important. There's a lot of people who they play games just because they think that they're going to get a lot of viewership. Like, for example, like Fortnite. I get people telling me, "Oh, I'm gonna start playing Fortnite because it's so popular." And a lot of people, I think a lot of people will watch me play, and they might not enjoy it. Like your community will know when you don't enjoy a game. So it's super, super important to make sure you play a game just because it's like popular or it's more saturated. Like just try to start with something small or something that you like and enjoy. And that's where I continue to see, some progress with my streaming. And I was like, wow, like we're actually like getting 2 viewers now. Wow, we're actually getting 3 now. Like what is going on? So I was like, okay, this is going well. So and it just kept going up and up. And yeah, we've been progressing quite a lot during the year of streaming.
Cool. Do you want to share kind of like how like where you're at now versus like where you were a year ago?
Yeah, for sure. So when I first started, of course, like I mentioned earlier, I had nobody, but I kept using my also another big tip of mine is using social media. It has such a big impact because Twitch does not have the best discoverability for growing streamers and like streamers like myself, like it doesn't really help. Like I have never had people be like, "Oh, I found you on the recommendation channel." Like I think I've only had one time happen. But like for us baby streamers, it's just hard to find us because we're so bunched in with a lot of other people and we're always at the bottom. So really using social media has helped a lot, a lot, a lot, especially like my TikTok. Like I'm shocked by like how much I grew because of TikTok. But every social media really is dependent on you and what you want to use. You could try out each one and like for instance, I know another streamer that uses Twitter and he has more luck on Twitter than I do. So it really dependent on what works for you because what may work for you may not work for somebody else, vice versa. So definitely TikTok has helped me grow as a streamer and it's definitely helped increase my viewership as well. So like now I average maybe like 25 and up per stream compared to what I used to before. And before I really started using social media heavily.
Yeah, I mean, some people might think those are small numbers, but honestly, like from like having some streaming experience myself, like having like that like you know like consistent amount of like viewers, like even if it's like 25, like it's so like it feels so good. Like it just feels like um people are watching you, like enjoying like what you do, and like um yeah, it's just nice to just have like people like that, with you.
Yeah, sometimes it is tough though, because sometimes I feel like there are moments when I'm at like a standstill and I don't feel like I'm improving, because sometimes like I can't help but look at my stats, when I'm done streaming, like, oh, like we're still sitting at here, like for this X amount of months. I'm like, dang, like it is sometimes for me mentally draining, and I can't help but like compare myself to other people because that's what we do. We're like humans, like I see somebody who we started at the same level, but they're going so much quicker and I'm still like going like this. So it is sometimes really discouraging, but I'm so happy to have a community that supports me. And I tell them my concerns and they're like, dude, you're gonna be getting there, just it's gonna take time, and everybody has their own path to success. And although we try not to compare, we might do it, but we just gotta believe that we will get there too, but at our own rate. Maybe it might take another 2 to 4 years, who knows, but I just can't give up even if I feel like I'm still stuck at averaging the same.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I mean, it's definitely like all natural, that feeling of like wanting to compare yourself to your fellow peers, like I mean that's just completely natural. But you know, like
Very
your
true.
community. I mean, but you have like a lot of things like going for you. You know, from at least what I've noticed, and the number one thing is just like your attitude about streaming, that it's a long term game. You know, just having that just mentality, just honestly puts you like, it gives you that opportunity to like make it, versus like other people that, well, versus like a lot of people that like are unable to see it as a long term kind of long term struggle slash like goal to like reach like those levels of like community, like kind of backing you up. So
Right, right. Yeah, and along with what you're saying as well, there's also people who think that streaming is going to happen overnight. No, it doesn't happen. It literally is going to take you months and days and maybe even years. There's other streamers I know that have been streaming for, you know, 3+ years, but still average 5 viewers. So it's a lot of work that you have to be committed to, and a lot of work that you have to be ready to do. Like if you are not mentally prepared, like it's not something that you should take on. Like it's going to take time. Like you have to understand it's going to take time and dedication and hard work for you to get to where you want to be. Because like I knew it was going to be a lot of work. Like I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready.
yeah,
Yeah, but and also a lot of people do it sometimes for the wrong reasons. Like people do it for the money. You're not gonna make money like off your first stream. I can guarantee you that. And it is not the right reason either. Like I don't stream because I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna make like this much money. Like no, I do it because I love it, and I do it because I enjoy the community that I have, and they're so sweet, and they love watching me play games and the games that I want to play, like which makes it even better.
yeah, definitely. I think a part of that reason potentially like is like uh I guess is like most of the population of Twitch are viewers of like these like super like successful streams, right? So like the big like
Yes.
streamers. And so like maybe they've just, you know, been in that environment of these successful streamers that uh they come in with these kind of maybe just maybe like misconstrued expectations of what it takes to become a streamer, or what it is like to be a streamer when you're starting out. So I guess they do have to overcome those expectations that they've built up for streaming.
Yeah, like with what you're saying again, yeah, that's the same thing like watching PewDiePie. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna get like be like that. Like, yeah, I strive to be, but I don't think it's gonna be easy. I'm pretty sure I used to watch him when he was like not as popular. So he started off like somewhere just like us too before he got like really big and blew up.
Yeah, I remember I was looking. Well, I I, I was looking at some of his old videos, and I mean, what he was doing was just like, I mean, he was just like playing games. Like he was like playing like some of these like scary games, if I remember correctly.
Yes, his
Yeah,
old school games were like a lot of horror games.
yeah, and a
Yeah,
lot of people
yeah.
like, you know, like to watch that kind of stuff back then. Not a lot of people you know, stream that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's he has changed with the stuff that he kind of streams and does now, but like he's still pretty big and that's awesome. Like if you have to change to kind of like adapt, like I believe that, it's good. And he's in a good place too and he seems happy. So I'm happy for him.
Oh yeah, I was there. I remember when he got married to his wife. So, well, I
They're
wasn't
so
there,
cute
but
together.
I was there like on, you know, watching on Twitter his wedding video. So
Oh, they're
yeah,
so cute together too.
yeah, they're super cute. Um, yeah, you know, the question that I just kept having in my head, like, you know, along your like streaming timeline, like when did you like, was it all the way from the very beginning that like you had this kind of like schedule in place? Like how did your level of commitment like kind of change over time with streaming, or was it always just like a high level of commitment?
So actually in the beginning of my streaming career, I was like very inconsistent. So my community didn't know when I was going to stream. When I once started building a community that was kind of a better gauge for, oh, I should be starting to stream this much. So in the beginning, I was kind of all over the place. Sometimes I'd stream once a week, sometimes I'd stream twice a week, or sometimes they wouldn't see me at all. So it's really good. Consistency is key though. Like kind of knowing when you're going to be streaming and like what time, and also just letting your social media know like, hey, I'm going to be streaming at this time tomorrow, so they kind of know now like when I usually stream. Like they know I'm usually on in the evening and I don't stream on the weekends. So like they kind of know, because once they're hanging out with you long enough, they know how you are and they know like what your schedule usually looks like. Like they don't really have to ask me like when are you streaming again, because they usually know. So it's I've noticed that when you're more consistent, you'll gain more viewers that way, and they'll also know when to expect you. So it's good to, once is kind of a little too, like it's a little too little. So I'd say usually two to three times a week is good um to stream. But yeah, I've definitely noticed it's made a big difference with having a stream schedule, just so they know when to expect you.
Yeah, definitely. How long have you kept, or like when did you kind of, or how long has it been since your current schedule?
When I started switching.
Yeah, to a more, because you said that early on, like you were kind of.
Oh, sure. I think it started probably like within my fourth or fifth month of streaming. But I wanted, like, I kept hearing like advising you need to have a consistent schedule. Otherwise, if you don't know when you're gonna stream, your community is not gonna know when you're gonna stream. So I was like, okay, that they have a point. So it really made a big difference when I'm like, and now that I have like a really like, wow, like a fairly large community, from when I first started, like, yeah, it's good to let them know, like, hey, I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, guys. Just a reminder, or I'm streaming later today. So so yeah, that's definitely when I started incorporating like a more set schedule, and it seemed to work a lot better.
So it's good. So it's good for the viewership, but how is it, like for you personally, kind of like having that commitment to a schedule?
I thought that okay, I never would have thought that streaming would change my life, but I think it really did change my life in ways I never would have thought. But like pertaining to that, like having a set schedule, it definitely made me feel like I'm dedicated and I'm committed to streaming. Because when I tell myself I'm going to be streaming today and tomorrow and this day, like I'm owing that to myself, and I'm owing that to like my community. Like the fact that they know when, like, again, to like expect me. And it shows a lot of commitment, I think, when you can dedicate time to be like, I'm going to set apart this time to do this. It's like a to-do list, like you feel more accomplished when you set a goal and you're like, I'm gonna do it. So like when I tell you I'm gonna be streaming later today, I'm gonna do that today. And it makes me feel accomplished, and it makes me feel good about myself.
I agree. I've been making checklists and to do lists recently, and it has definitely. It always feels good to be able to accomplish something off that you wrote earlier in the day.
Yes, keeping yourself accountable, that is so important, so important. Like if you say I'm gonna stream today but you don't stream today, like, man, I would feel terrible. Unless of course you had like an emergency or something came up, like that's different. Just be like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I promise.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Maybe like, what is your current like stream schedule, just really quickly?
Yeah, for sure. So, I'm typically on like Tuesday through Thursday. Like, depending on time, it'll be usually 7:30, 8 p.m. CST during the weekdays, and I'm off on the weekends.
Okay. And you said it lasted. Was it for a couple hours every stream?
Yeah, I'll usually stream like at most 2.5 to three and a half hours. I don't like to burn myself out, so I usually just like to stream that long. I don't want to stream too long because then I get really burned out.
I see. Would you ever consider 24-hour streams?
I have not done that yet, and I don't know if I will.
That's always what
Oh
the
boy.
viewers want.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. Maybe in the future, but not right now. I think I would. Oh my God. I think if I did a 24-hour stream, like I won't be able to stream for the next like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Now,
that's
I don't know how people do it, but by the time it usually hits like 10-ish my time, I'm already getting tired. I can't even imagine staying up for like 24 hours.
yeah, I don't even remember the last time or if I've ever done that. It's just
I have done 24 hours, like, well, not streaming, but
really.
like I've been up, like, it was like twice when I was going on a trip, like back in high school. That don't
Mhm.
want to do it again.
Yeah, just it's back in younger years, so maybe.
I'm too old for that now.
Same. I like my sleep. I like my sleep.
Yeah, I'm like a baby. I need my baby sleep.
So okay, so earlier you mentioned school. Is there what do you go to school for?
So currently I'm actually in school for a software developer, and I'm gonna be done this spring. And actually originally I wanted to do IT. So I've been in school for a while because I changed majors. So I was in school, and then I actually took a break after for a year or two. And then I was like, okay, I really want to do IT, but I don't know where to start, where to go. So I decided to go the nursing route.
Mm.
And I actually got accepted into the nursing program and everything, but I actually turned it down because I was like, okay, I feel like this isn't for me either.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite a switch, and so I left the nursing. Well, I declined it, and then I switched to like software. And at first, I was looking for a game development program, but they don't have that near where I live. And I didn't really want to do online courses because I like in person better.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, they didn't have it either. So I was like, okay, well, I could go the software route, and that might be able to help me create some games because a lot of games nowadays, especially like indie games, are made of programming languages, and which is what I'm studying. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping with the core of it, I might be able to have the basics of making something in the future, which is also another goal of mine is to make my own game.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um, s- yeah, that's so maybe that might help also with my Twitch because I think that would definitely be a different path as well, which I'm very excited about. I'm hoping I can get something going maybe once I'm done with school. So, but yeah, I've learned that software has a lot to do with game like making your own games because making your own games has those like I said, similar languages, like coding languages. So I might be able to build something later on.
Mm-hmm. So you said you where did the IT interest come from and where did it go? Because it kind of seemed like it just disappeared there, or you just went into software because there wasn't an IT thing.
Oh yeah. So I didn't know specifically what kind of IT work I wanted to do. Like I don't want to do like help desk stuff, but I wanted to do something that had to do with either the front end of like software or websites or the back end. Like I wanted to do something like
Mm.
that. And I've always liked working, on computers and like technology is growing, so I feel like I felt like it was a good field to go into and like more of what I was interested in because like since I stream, I was like, oh, this relates more to my streaming technical tech uh technology stuff versus nursing.
Oh. Wait, so did this decision come after you started streaming? Like just last year?
Okay, let me see if I can remember what. So, no, so I actually started the program last fall. So I actually didn't
Okay.
stream until yeah, the past year. So I was in school and I didn't start streaming yet until like a
Mm.
year later. So it really what got me into streaming, well, I guess COVID happened, which was actually a lot of other people like were starting to stream because of COVID too. But no, I've always wanted to stream and I was like, wow, this is perfect time. Like
Mm.
nobody can go out, so I'm sure we'll something will happen, right?
Yeah, and I think I think you're right about that hypothesis. I think a lot more people stayed home and a lot more people watch stuff.
Oh yeah, I am super super happy that I switched. Like I'm happy, and I possibly like have some jobs like lined up already when I'm done with school. So I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully it'll help me like again make my own game or something, and like I could feature that on my stream, which would be so cool too. Or, let some of my other streamer friends play those games. Like that's something that I really want to try to do.
Definitely. I mean, it's early, but do you have like any kind of like maybe know like what type of game you might want to like create? Like, do you play like
I
a lot of indie games?
I do. So actually I'm currently playing one right now.
Mm.
I just started it last night. It's I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it. It's called so they're by the same creator. So last week I played a game called Little Misfortune. I'm not sure if you
I'm not.
have. So that game is the decisions you make have consequences.
I love those games.
If you ever get a chance, check it out. It's on Steam. I'm not sure what you play on if you play on PC, but it's available, I think, on all consoles.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's actually made by the same creator, which I'm playing a game called Fran Bow, and they're related. So, but the Fran Bow is not like you make certain like dialogue decisions, but it doesn't really have a consequence, but it's pretty dark. Like both games are dark.
Mm.
So, but yeah, they're both indie games. So like I love indie games. Like I think it's great. Like I think they're definitely like underrated for sure sometimes. Most times.
Oh yeah, 100%. Just because they're not like that mainstream popularity kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and they're not as known,
How,
but they make like great games.
yeah. How do you find these games?
That's a good question. I don't really know. Sometimes I look up like recommendations, or I look up like the the category like indie,
Oh
you
okay.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Okay.
what's going to be released.
Cool. Um. So yeah, any type of game that comes into mind, would you, um, or just not yet?
I'm sure, but the only thing that I kind of know that I would like is to make like a pixelated, like, have you ever heard of Stardew Valley?
Yes.
Okay, so I kind of want to make something like with the same like graphics, like a pixelated. Uh, I actually kind of wanted to make a pixelated story game, which I've never
Oh,
seen. So I think that would be kind of cool.
I'd love to see one.
Yeah. Pixelated story decision making game.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've seen that yet, so I kind of wanted to try it.
Definitely. I mean, I love decision games. So I mean, I'll just look forward to it.
Thank you. Hopefully we can get that started this year. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Cool. Um. So yeah, so you're able to manage school, streaming, and just personal life. Like how is that all that balancing act the last year been?
Very busy. Very, very busy. So I have to be able to like organize my schedule. Like I'm gonna do this at this time. I'm gonna do that at that time because like I've got homework and then I shoot TikToks and yeah, so it gets pretty crazy on the weekdays. So like if I'm not gonna and I do movie nights in my community, so it's like I really have to learn and know how to do time management because it's so important. Like you're very, very busy. I couldn't even imagine like because I don't have kids right now, like how those parents do it because they're streamers too. Like I have a couple people. I'm like, wow, you still stream like 3 times a week. Like that's crazy. Like that's awesome. I'm happy. Yeah, you just really have to learn how to coordinate your time well and time well spent, of course.
Wow. Do you like plan that the day before, like a week ahead? Like how does that planning look like?
So I just make sure that I get my important stuff done first, like schoolwork, because like I need to make sure that I'm on top of school. So like if it's gonna get in the way, like I can't, I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry guys, like I can't stream today. I really gotta focus on school. But I'm usually really good about getting my homework done during like the day, so I can stream in the evening and do all the other stuff I need to do, in the evening. So. It hasn't been like super hard. It's like literally incorporated in my brain. Like it's just how I've been, especially the past year. Like the more you do it, the more practice you have. It gets easier. Like it's just like, oh, you're gonna do this because you're so used to it because you do it like every day.
I see. I had a question about the TikToks.
Yes.
How how does like the planning for that like happen? Like how much time does each TikTok typically take? Like how does the process look like for that?
Okay, so sometimes I brain fart and like I don't know what I'm gonna shoot
Uh huh.
because it gets hard because like I make I used to shoot like 6 to 8 TikToks like in a day.
Really?
Yes. And I was like, okay, this is burning me out. Like I can't be shooting. So like I wouldn't post them all in a day though. I would shoot it though. I would save it. So
Mm.
like I would maybe post like twice a day. So I
Okay.
don't have to shoot the rest of the week. But I learned that I run out of ideas quicker when I do it that way and I get more burned out cuz like when you shoot that many, it's like wow. It's like shooting like I can even imagine like a whole YouTube video you're shooting like 4 or 5 of them.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, I need to space it like apart. So I started shooting like maybe 2 to 3 a night, and I would like spread it out. So like maybe I'd shoot it, post 1 to 2 today, and like shoot again tomorrow, and like I'd like would shoot like maybe 4 to 5 times a week, maybe a little less, just so I could spread it out during the weekdays. Um, but yeah, it's just I don't really know. And then I'll watch like other people and see if I can get like bouncing off ideas or something like that, or just like kind of making my own stuff
Okay.
for TikToks.
Uh huh. So would you say you reserve like an hour or so just for like that?
Yes, I would definitely 1 to 2 for sure.
Okay.
So definitely busy.
I see. Cool. So one question is like, hmm. I guess it's like overall kind of like you know, how should I say, like you were talking about social media presence with the TikTok, with the streaming, like were you always kind of like comfortable with like kind of like putting yourself out there like on like social media, like
Social
on
media.
these online presence?
So what's funny is that before I started streaming, I actually was not very big on social media. Like I was not into it. Like I'm very low key and I don't really like to share a whole lot. So it definitely made a big difference in my life. It definitely brought me more out there. Like I've always kind of been in the middle, like introvert, extrovert, and I used Instagram occasionally. That was where I first started. Um, just posting pictures is like simple. Like I could do that like once a week or whenever I felt like it. So, but then people kept telling me like social media is so important. Like you're not gonna grow if you don't post, if you don't engage your community, if you don't get yourself out there. I'm like, dang, like really? So when I actually started getting into it, I'm like, whoa, like I've known a big difference. Like, so I used to average around 10 when I first, but after TikTok, like I averaged a lot higher because I was able to somehow bring TikTok individuals over into my Twitch streams. And like same with I would use Facebook occasionally, but I want to get more into like Twitter and Instagram. But it's kind of a little harder for me to get them to come over. But like other people I know are more successful at it. So it just like really is dependent on what you want to, like what works for you.
I see. Is there a reason why Instagram would be a little bit tougher? Because I know they added like the Reels thing, right? So it's kind of like very similar in some
To TikTok.
cases to TikTok. Do you think there's like a additional barrier with Instagram, or just like maybe your following just isn't as strong over there yet?
So definitely like Instagram Reels is different than TikTok, but I'm trying to test out the waters. Like, so I did post a little bit for Reels. Sometimes they flop, sometimes they're good. Like, I don't really understand the algorithm yet for IG. Same with YouTube Shorts. Like, I've been trying to test it out for both, like trying to see like what is working and what's not working. I'm like, okay, YouTube is not really working. Like my shorts, they call them
Yeah.
YouTube shorts. I'm like, I don't really understand how to use this yet. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, so basically I'll repost like my TikToks for, and I've watched like sometimes I watch like certain YouTube just to get like advice, and they say like, like it's okay to repost because sometimes like people don't see the stuff that you post like on one media versus another media. So I was like, okay, like if it's okay to repost, I'm just gonna do that. But like it hasn't. Sometimes they more flop than they do well, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. And I don't really understand why. I'm trying to understand because I just started using it like last month.
Right.
So
I just know that like some of those like other like the Instagram reels I was talking about and also like YouTube shorts, I actually just don't know like how like like sometimes when I'm on YouTube like I would see the shorts like they would kind of
you
like
would
pop
okay,
up, but it's just
yeah.
like you like my main thing when I go to YouTube is like to watch like videos, and then the shorts are kind of like an additional like just add on. So it's just like I don't go on there to like watch the shorts. I go there mostly to watch like the videos, right? So I'm thinking like maybe that's why like and also with Instagram, like mostly like with Instagram, like I would see the reels option in the bottom, but like I don't go there like it's not really the main focus of like the app for me at least. Like it's like mostly like for my feed.
It's very strange. Like it's almost like they wanted to have competitors with TikTok, because like they want to make the app better, but obviously since TikTok's been out for a while now, people are more used to having TikTok as like, oh, I'm only going to go here to watch short videos versus YouTube is mainly for you want to watch something that's longer. And Instagram isn't I don't go on Instagram to watch reels either. Like it's so weird. Like usually a lot of people repost their TikTok TikTok videos onto Instagram reels. That's what I do. And I've seen the same thing from other people too. So but it's mainly the reason why I used or I'm trying to use it is so I can bring people over to my Twitch.
Yeah.
So and like maybe I can get more followers or viewers on Instagram and YouTube as well, or coming to the channel so they'll come and follow me because that's happened a little bit too. Like where I'll post and one video does well, I'll get a few followers and I'll get a few people coming from Instagram to Twitch.
I see.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there are people like you know their own like community within those like other social media uh accounts that use it more often than I do. It's just like that was my experience, so it was interesting. I wonder how other people feel about that.
I definitely feel the same way you do, but the only reason why I use it is because it hopefully it might help in the future. I don't really know. It doesn't hurt to just repost if you can.
Oh yeah, 100% agree. You know, just
Yeah.
to to get your reach out there.
Right, right. I agree.
Hmm. Okay, so let's see. Hmm. So, in your first year of like streaming, do you think you would change much going to like your second year?
Mm, not currently, but I do want to try new things that I haven't done during the past year. So actually today I'm going to be trying something new on my stream, for example. I want to do a stream channel review, something that I've
Ooh.
never done. So what I want to do is um it's a way for me to help out another streamer, especially if you're newer or just like want some tips that I don't usually get to talk about when I stream. Um and kind of just like give positive and negative, well, you know what I mean. Okay. Basically giving out feedback to a streamer that like wants to hear it. So like I was going to do like a giveaway style. like where you'll enter and then like it'll pick one streamer and then I'll pull your stream up and then I'll be able to critique your channel live during the Twitch stream. And I've never done anything like that before, and I thought it would be a good way to like involve my community and they could see, you know, they can get advice from myself and they can get advice from my community as well. So for instance, I wanted to try that and like just like try some other things during the year and see if I'm able to go on the next level with streaming.
Sounds good. I like the you know, I think your approach and you know, you always I think you're very good at like, you know, coming up with these ideas, you know, like learning from other people and seeing kind of like and getting ideas like that too is just, I think it's like a good long-term plan. So,
Thank you. I appreciate it. Always gotta grind because streaming is a grind.
it is so
Yeah, I've definitely had a lot of struggles, so I want to be able to help like other streamers as well.
yeah, that mention of like that streamer review, it just seems very encouraging, you know, to that small streamer, you know, especially like, you know, like we were talking about earlier, it's just like when you're starting out, like you don't get too much you know, too much attention. So like when other streamers kind of like help you out on and like kind of interact with you, just helps you for that day and, you know, for that week maybe.
Yeah, if I can make a difference for somebody, like I definitely want to do that too. Like I know how hard it is and I know what it's like to be there. So if I can like help you out, like I will definitely like, you know, more benefit to you.
Definitely. Uh, do you have in the last year? Do you have a one or two like memories of like maybe highlights of your streaming career, like moments you just remember uh, that just stand out to you?
So one of the best moments that I had during the past year was getting partnered with HyperX.
Wow.
So that was like really big for me because in the beginning of the year, they actually had their submissions closed for applications. They were like, keep an eye out. I was like, okay, like, but they didn't email me like saying like applications were open. I had to keep looking every few months or every month to make sure I didn't miss it. So, and I really love their products a lot. So I was like, I really, really want to try to get this partnership with them. So I can't October was when they was it when yeah, that was when they opened up and I applied and it like I didn't hear back for like 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so I emailed them and I was like, hey, like I was just wondering if you guys got my application and they're like, oh, I think we got it lost. I'm like, what? I was like, okay, it would make sense why I've been waiting for so long. And they're like, oh, what's your email? And I gave it to them and they're like, oh, never mind. Like we found them. Like, okay, thank God. So, and that's when they checked it. And then like the next day I got an email saying like I got accepted. I was like, wow, this is so crazy. I'm so super happy like to be partnered with them. Like what a great opportunity. Like I hope that I can hopefully in the future get connected with somebody that could like help me out or give me some advice too. I'm not sure if they do that kind of stuff yet, but I gotta ask them. But yeah, I was super happy to be partnered with them. And I'm also partnered with another company that does like they're like G Fuel, like energy drink stuff for gamers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awesome to get to be able to get some drinks and a shaker and you know things like that.
Cool. What does it mean to like have a partnership, like for example with HyperX?
I think it's really cool to be able to like represent a brand for sure. And also like just telling my community about it too. Like when they ask like, "Oh, like what is your recommended like headset or mic?" And of course, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you should get my mic because you guys will love it." Like, and they do. Like, I've actually had a lot of people like buy the same mic and they're like, "Oh my God, you're right. Like, I totally love this mic." Like, how don't you love the RGB?
I I love the RGB. It's
Yeah.
cool.
So
That,
yeah, yeah, it's been an interesting year because you know, of course, through the year I had my own struggles with uh you know, feeling like I wasn't, you know, like I told you earlier, like I wasn't getting anywhere. with my streaming, and I was like, dang, like there were days like I was just like I just wanted to quit and like not continue, but I'm like, you know what? I got to keep going. I got to keep going no matter how hard it gets because I've gotten so far. Can't give up now.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Do you think like yeah? Because when I was kind of like viewing like the different TikToks that you had, yeah, a lot of them were like kind of very encouraging to the small streamer. Like, do you like, and I guess a lot of that is just because of like those moments that you had. You know, like, was it just because of those like, or yeah, just from your experience from your origins and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I can definitely relate with those streamer struggles because I literally go through the same thing too. And a lot of people seem to like it more when you can definitely empathize with, another streamer or understand where they're coming from. And if I can show people that I do have those struggles, like hopefully that'll push them to keep going too because there's been moments when people are like, there's no way that you like struggle. I'm like, trust me, I do. Like, like you might think that like, yeah, like you're successful and things like that, but I go through my own stuff too. Like there are moments when I feel down or when I like feel like I'm just not doing enough and everything that I'm doing is just a waste of time. So if I can show people and tell people that I literally go through the same thing that you guys go through, like hopefully that will encourage people to continue to do what they love, and hopefully I can bring some positivity to somebody's life when they feel down.
I love that. You know,
Thank you.
to shine a light. You know, when I think like life and other people's lives are just tough in general. So
Yeah, yeah.
when you have somebody like you to kind of like to offer that little light, to offer that little warmth for that person, to survive that day, to keep going, to that you know that their dream or like their goals, like they can do that, like, and yeah, that's super cool, to hear
Thank
from you.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, definitely. Ah, so if you weren't streaming, what do you think you'd be doing? Like, can you imagine a world where you weren't
It's so
streaming?
it's so crazy because I ask myself this sometimes. I'm like, what would I be doing right now? To be honest with you, I don't know. I I'd probably though still be playing video games, but I wouldn't be streaming. Like if I wasn't streaming, I mean, same hobbies, but not including streaming.
And like it is so much better to like share it with other people.
You know, I remember somebody telling me if you're gonna play video games, why not stream it? Like, what have you got to lose? But if you are very concerned about, not being able to grow, like you got to set that aside. Like it literally gets to people. It literally eats people alive when they're just like, I'm not growing. There's been so many times in my comments on TikTok when people say, I'm struggling so hard, so bad with this. I'm not getting any viewership. Nobody watches me. That is the biggest, biggest, biggest concern for like growing streamers. And I'm just like, you have to realize that you make sure that you enjoy this. If you don't enjoy it, to be honest with you, you probably shouldn't be doing it because yeah, okay, that might be a little harsh, but it's the truth. Like you have to make sure that you like it though, that you enjoy and you love what you do because what is the point if you're going to play this game, okay, but in the first place nobody's watching you anyway. Like let's say you're not streaming. You're playing games anyway. So you just have to believe that you're going to get somewhere even if nobody's watching you. Yeah, that's definitely been one of the biggest concerns for sure.
True. I mean, the whole time you were explaining that, I was thinking like, yeah, I mean, what is the point? If you do not enjoy the game that you're playing, what is the point? Like you're just, yeah, you're just kind of like missing. You're doing something and you're missing, and you just don't really know why you're doing it, and that's gonna lead you to a lot of like just a lot of suffering along the way. You're just
Yeah,
doing it for the wrong reasons, kind of thing.
yep, a lot of self-doubt and negativity.
Yeah, so best to avoid it, and
Right.
yeah. Let's see. Do you like? Hmm. How do you find these like other small streamers? Are they kind of just viewers from your stream? Kind of like how you get exposed to them?
So, definitely TikTok has helped like tremendously. Like I've met so many streamer friends, like somehow we just get connected or like I'll run into them on TikTok. Like I'll be like seeing a video that I like and then I'll see that they're like already following me. So then I'll follow them back and then like I'll message them like, "Hey, like I see that you've been following me. Like I need more streamer friends." Or like I usually try to connect with people or sometimes they'll reach out to me too. So, I've met a lot of people through TikTok, or I've also met a lot of people through my streams as well. Like people will hang out a lot and they'll be like, "I stream, like do you mind checking me out?" I'll be like, "Yeah, sure." Like I don't like doing follow for follow, but I'm definitely willing to check out somebody's stream if you're like hanging out in mine.
Oh. Hmm. Does your does your family know you stream?
Yeah. Yeah, my family knows. I live with them, so
How is that? Like kind of like is
um
there like a strong support from them or?
yeah, like I was shocked too. My mom's like, "Man, someday if you get big, make sure you take care of me, okay?" I'm like, "Mom, you're so sweet." I'm like, "You really think I'm gonna get big?" She's like, "I think you will." I'm like, "Oh, Mom, you're so sweet." It is nice. I'm very, very happy that I do have a very supportive family because I know that a lot of people out there don't have that kind of support from their family or boyfriend, girlfriend. So I hope that I can be the shining light for people where I can encourage you to, to stream or at least like do what you love. Because like not a lot of people out there get that support, and I'm very, very fortunate that my family supports me and my boyfriend supports me. So I just want to be able to be that support for people if they don't get it from others.
Yeah, I think one of the main things I'm gonna get from this, or like one of the things that's just very apparent, is like you do like you're doing something that you love to do,
Yes.
and like that is so important. I think, being engaged in an activity, in a job, in a career that like you feel passion for, that you feel strongly to, because you view that there's a future there, like there's something that you're striving to every day, and you're enjoying the process. I think that like that is such an important just an important part of what I'm seeing here in terms of like your stream, in terms of your life, um, and it's great to see. It's great to see.
Right. Honestly, like life is so short to be unhappy. Like we live, we go to school, and then we work for the rest of our life. Like holy crap, like that seems it seems so grim. Like it when you think of it like that, it is like actually pretty sad. Like when you're just like, dang, like and then you die. So I don't want to get into that, but I'm just like I have these conversations with a lot of people. So it's like just do what you like and love. Like it's not that hard. Like you don't have to make it that hard for yourself. Just go out there and do it. What have you got to lose? Like I want people to live their dreams. I want people to be happy with their lives.
Yeah, I mean that's a great message.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it really does suck, sometimes like people I know, like they just, I feel like sometimes they're just stuck, or like they're just unable to. Sometimes I just don't see them able to like dream, kind of like, or like be able to like. I just see like the spark in their eyes just aren't there for like what they're doing, and
Yes,
and it's
yeah.
just like, to me, sometimes I just feel so sad to like see that kind of thing, because like, like you said, like, the time that we have, like, here, like, we should be spending it like in a way that like enriches us, and like, we should strive for a dream, for something bigger, for something that, um I don't know, just something like we enjoy, because one, like, you enjoy the process, you'll just see the difference it makes in your daily life, but then along with that, if you become good at it and you have a good message, like, the people will come along, and eventually, somewhere along the way, like, money will follow it as well, kind of thing. Like, if you do like what you enjoy, like, typically you will be able to monetize it somehow.
Yeah, like with that being said too, a lot of people sometimes feel like they're stuck or they're just not in a position to get out. Like I've seen that too, and I'm just like, dang, like there must be something that you could do. Like I'm pretty sure if there's another job or sorry, give me
Mm-hmm.
sorry, that was my little brother.
No problem.
Um, and so yeah, like that being said, there's, people feel like they're just stuck. Maybe they didn't go to college and the jobs that they have is just very limited to what they can do, but I feel like there's just got to be something. Like has to be something. You should feel happy about like what you do, or I know not every job is perfect, right? Not every job is perfect, but maybe there's somehow some way you can find another solution to something similar, or you could change jobs or change majors, something.
Yeah. I think that one of the things I see often is just like, people have these preconceived like notions about like the timeline of like life. Some people think like your life is like over when you're like 30. Like, it's just like after 30, like life is just like so grim. But
Oh no.
yeah, it's just like, for me, like, I don't think so. Like, I think that you should look at your life like in the totality. Like, you have like maybe 80, you know 80 or so years here, and like that's all of your time. Like, that is like your time, and like there's
Right,
no
right.
like, you should not let somebody be like, okay, like after 30, yeah, life sucks, or like after 40, life sucks. Like,
No.
no, like, even like wherever you are, like I hope that you have the courage. I hope that you have like, the conscientiousness to be able to like look at your situation, and make small improvements where you can. And if you're able to do that, uh, and to also hope that you have some sort of like support group or like support system in place, so to help you through that process, so that you have a better chance at like improving your life, no matter like how small. Just because, like, I mean, that's like, I don't know, like, that's, what else are you gonna do? Like, like, with your like 80 years
Right,
here, like,
right,
make a better life for yourself, so that you're happy, you're in a better position, and that, the people you love and are also in a better position, hopefully.
right. I wanted to ask about you too. Are
Hmm.
you in school? Are you working or
Okay, so 2018 is when I graduated from college.
okay.
So that was, I got my bachelor's in nutrition. It was actually with food.
Hmm.
So I was 22 years old then, and then the next step was to get kind of registered. So like, you needed to take like a 1 year internship, and then you would take an exam to become what they call like a registered dietitian.
Okay.
That registered dietitian is kind of just like the expert, uh, in terms of like food and nutrition kind of thing. So that was kind of the plan, but for me, like, I kind of got stalled after I got graduated, because like, Um, well, one, like I felt like I needed a break because like I was like one of those people like that entered college like undeclared. So then I
Okay.
only did my major classes on my last 2 years. So I was just like rushing all these science classes, and I was just like really burnt out.
Right.
But and so I worked for a year, but then like I also had to deal like with my own like anxieties. Like for some reason, like gathering like the application just never like worked out for me, and so it just kind of stalled. So like I had to stall for another year because I couldn't get my applications together. And so I was just working for like the last 2 years. And then here comes around February is when the next set of applications happen. And again, like I just can't not get these papers together. And so I'm just like, the whole time, like the last year, I've just been really like reevaluating kind of like, like what I like enjoy, like kind of having this discussion that I was talking about earlier. It's kind of like, like what is it that like I really like want to do kind of thing. Like dietitian, and like, my idea for it was kind of like, okay, like I'll be an expert in food, and the idea was to kind of like start a private practice to kind of like coach people, like kind of like how to kind of like how they can like improve their eating habits so that they that so that these long-term effects of food, like they don't have like a negative effect. They don't
Right.
develop
Right.
like
Right.
obesity and stuff like that. So that was my idea for a while, but I'm just like, okay, what is it that you really like kind of like enjoy about it? And for me, I didn't exactly have like such a strong passion for food. Like it was just like what I was more interested was more of the science, more of like I love the science courses. I was always a science guy, science and math guy, and um and the thing that was interesting for me was that coaching, was that counseling. So I was like, okay, thinking, okay, you've had to deal with anxieties, like you've like tried to develop strategies on this. And so my recent thing has been psychology.
Yep.
And like I've been thinking a lot about like, potentially like becoming a therapist, potentially being like a psychologist kind of thing. And just because like I just find like what I found most interesting, I found out was like people's stories and like the life that they lead, like, and like being able to kind of like deconstruct kind of like uh and to really kind of try to understand like how a person is thinking, and to potentially like help them overcome like the obstacles that they're faced every day, because I see so much potential in the individual that sometimes they're just kind of stuck in these like cycles of like, I don't know, like just cycles of just obstacles in their head, that if they're able to kind of like get through those obstacles, like they could take that next step for themselves like in life.
Yeah, I think you should definitely. So you're okay, so you're still trying to figure out kind of what your calling is, right? Is that what you're
Yes.
Okay, okay. So can you do something with the science for like in your field for your major?
Yeah, so I was thinking potentially like, okay, so I have my bachelor's. What I could do, like, I'm trying to reach out to people that are psychologists or like other like people. I've just been casting actually a very wide net to kind of like ask people for more information about the
Uh-huh.
field,
Yeah.
just to get a better sense of like, okay, what is the best like approach to this whole like psychology thing. Like one approach is like to get a master's in counseling psychology and become like a licensed marriage and family therapist. So that's one way that I'm thinking about it. Since I do qualify, since I have my bachelor's already, it would
Yeah.
be like a 2 year program. But then I'm thinking, okay, like, what about if like the other way is like striving to be like a psychologist, which is like the PhD route for it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that one's gonna take like 5+ years. So I
Oh
really would.
boy.
Yeah, so that was like a long term commitment. Like I'm
Yeah,
24, like
yeah.
that's gonna be 29, 30. But again, like I'm right now, I'm like really just trying to like gather information, like kind of see like, is it for me? Like I said, like there's certain things that I notice about myself that I feel like would be a fit for that field. So I'm just kind of like asking the professionals or hoping to ask the professionals kind of like their ideas and like what they think about it kind of thing
Right, right.
is where I'm at
Well, I
right now.
wish you luck on your career job. I hope you find what you like. So right now you're not, are you working or you're not working?
I'm working part-time just in a hospital kitchen just to get
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Nice.
just to get some income in. But yeah, like this is kind of like the new year, I'm thinking about like changing things up, trying to find just trying to see like to create a plan for myself in the next coming years. Um, but interestingly enough, do you know a streamer? He's on Twitch, Dr. K.
Dr. K?
Yeah, I think
I
that's
don't think so.
no. He's like a very popular streamer. He's like a psychiatrist actually
Oh,
that came into the Twitch space maybe a year ago or something. But yeah, he was really popular because you see, like there wasn't really that kind of like figurehead in the community before where his main focus was like mental health of gamers.
yeah.
And so like when you bring in like when he brought himself into the field, like he became like kind of like the figurehead of like mental health and like people and how popular he got so fast, you know, was because of like how mental health like for a very long time it just wasn't talked enough about and people
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah. I think even now it's still not talked about a lot. So it's really important in streaming and or in gamers in general or just in general, of course, in life.
yeah, so like when he came in so what he would do is like he literally would have like counseling sessions, not count but he would like have like this kind of like a one-on-one on stream, and he would like have these like really like prominent figures. Like I remember Dyrus, I remembered I don't know if you know Dyrus, like the League of Legends
No.
streamer. Yeah, but he would just kind of take these big personalities and he would just ask them to come on and just like be like, what do you want to talk about? Like maybe I can like help you through whatever.
Dang, I feel like yeah, that would definitely be big. Does he still stream?
Oh yeah, like he's
He still
really
does.
yeah, so he's really big. I would say like he would be maybe one of my inspirations as to why I'm like maybe pursuing like you know being a psychologist, because I see like what kind of presence like he brings. Like he's so like he's just like so like refreshing, calm, and like soothing in a way where it's just like he could be like your like father figure. It's
Yeah,
just like it's
check
just
him
like
out.
yeah, definitely check him out. His stuff is so great. So he would definitely be my inspiration as to why I would potentially become like a psychologist, like a psychiatrist.
Hi. Yeah, I'll definitely have to take a look.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, we're running to an hour and 13 minutes into the podcast now.
I think I think it went really well and I
Yeah.
really liked it a lot.
Yeah, I promised that this was only going to be an hour 30 minutes. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think you're a great personality, great person. Twitch is lucky to have a streamer like yourself. TikTok, you
Oh.
know, the viewers of TikTok that were able to find you, they were able to find you
Oh.
for a reason, because your message that you put out there like really resonates a lot with a lot of people, with those small streamers, with those people that are maybe not even streamers but thinking of streaming. Like you have such a good message for them to attempt it, and you even uh, prepare them for it, even to make sure that they have that proper mindset that it's for them,
Right.
that that they love the game that they're playing. So I hope you continue putting out those messages. I hope that you find the strength on those nights where you're, exhausted and frustrated maybe at where you're at, that you're doing good, that people enjoy your content, and that you should keep going.
Much. And again, I really appreciate you having me on this podcast, and that, I can make somebody smile or make somebody's day, that my goal is accomplished. So yeah, again, thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I really appreciate it.
No
I'm
problem.
glad you reached out to me. So
I'm happy. I'm happy I was able to do that. I'm happy that you were able to reply back, and I'm happy we were able to have this podcast episode.
yeah, of course, anytime.
Yeah. Again, like maybe you want to plug in your social media here. How can the viewers find you? I'm sure that they'll be interested to check out your stream sometime.
Yeah, one of the best ways that has all my like social media stuff, if you just go to my Twitch, which is JayV, JayV 33. All the panels is there in the About Me section, so you can like click on Twitter or TikTok. All my links are there.
There you go, guys. Definitely check her out. She's a fun streamer. Community's growing. There you go. All right. That'll probably end, or that will be the end of the fourth episode of the Gabriel podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed our little session here, and I hope you guys have a nice day. See you
Bye,
guys.
have a good one.